how's everybody doing today? We're playing some Combat Reloaded ranked matches. So, in this game, basically my team loses, and there are a certain number of factors as to why my team lost. And these are certain issues that Combat Arms has not addressed yet. And I think one of the biggest issues that Combat Arms community, or I should say Combat Arms leadership, and basically the Nexon leadership sort of fails to realize is one, the potential of Combat Arms, two, how much they can do with Combat Arms, and really three, I think I don't know if it's their care for their player base or just whether they're not learning from their mistakes or they're not learning from other games. And I think that Combat Arms, being a free-to-play FPS, can learn from other free-to-play games that are successful. Because one of the things that Combat Arms did do in the past was that it was an enjoyable game. It was competitive, especially with clan matches. And most of all, it failed because Combat Arms leadership and Nexon leadership failed to address a few issues. And that was hackers in the past. That's something that we already know has been established, right? It's hacking, it's NX. Like, I understand that you want to make money because you are free to play, but they could have used NX buying in a more useful way. One of the biggest things in the past was people just buying NX OP weapons for perm, and then just being able to wreck people who didn't spend real money to get that advantage. Right? It was free to play but pay to win. Combat Arms is sort of doing away with that in the fact that weapons are no longer classified by rank, and you can sort of get any weapon you want, NX or GP. The only kind of weapons that you can't get is like perms and well, I wouldn't say perms, but exclusive guns, like exclusive perms, sort of like the M4A1 stock mod. You can't really get that unless you buy like an exclusive case. And the good thing is that you can actually buy those cases with GP or NX. So again, Combat Arms is doing away with the whole pay-to-win system, which is great. But some of the things that you're going to notice here, especially when it comes to ranked, is there are very fundamental issues that I think that needs to be addressed, because Combat Arms can be a beautiful, competitive FPS game like League of Legends, and although CSGO is not a competitive free to play, competitive free to play, it is a game that you do buy. I think it's like the base price is like $20 or $15, and but it is an extremely competitive game. And I think one of the things that Counter-Strike and League of Legends do best is that they create an atmosphere where matchmaking works, where basically like their NX buy system does not give other players an advantage compared to other players. But more importantly, their games are standardized, right? Their competitive games are basically all about skill, right? They're not about giving champions or players other advantages, whereas it's about you as a player learning your weapon or learning your champion and learning how to master it, and then playing those characters or those weapons effectively, right? Using game sense. And I think Combat Arms fails to address that. And these are one of the few reasons that Combat Arms does feel how they actually fail to adjust it. Is one, their matchmaking is terrible. You're getting matched with players who are definitely better than you, right? They play better than you, and they outperform better than you. And I think Combat Arms fails to address that. They need to fix their matchmaking system to the point where you are matched with people who are playing consistently at the same level you are, right? Like, they're not like consistently carrying the team to the point where you're always playing against players that are just better than you. And it's the fact that even the bad players should have a chance to be able to play competitively and with other players. It should be a challenge, but at the same time, they should be able to not get wrecked, And the other thing definitely is Combat Arms fails to get rid of their they don't have like a penalty system, right? So in majority of the games that I've played, including this one, and every game that I've played except for one, which was like the first competitive game I played where we did really good, was because all the players stayed into the game and there was no penalty for them leaving. So in Combat Arms, when players leave or they go AFK and they don't come back, there is no penalty, right? There's no like 2-day penalty where you get banned, right? There's no certain penalty. The other thing is that when you die, there's also not a penalty, right? or if you're a person that says fuck it, I don't want to play this, I just don't want to deal with losing, they don't want to try it. They just, a lot of players just end up kind of like doing their own thing. They don't communicate, or they just give them the easy kill. They're just rushing. There's no sense of communication. Even like the mic system where you can speak on the mic is horrible. There's no good balance of where people can sort of push to talk, and the players just leave, right? And the other thing is that there's no standardization, right? In CSGO, you have standardized weapons, right? Like you have like the AK, the M4. So I think in CSGO ranked, there should be a standardized system of weapons that you can use, so that every player is using the standardized weapon. They're not NX buy, they're not GP, but you can spend basically in-game points, kind of like CSGO or in-game money, ranked money specifically, where you can buy maybe like an AK, or at least in game, instead of trying to make it exactly like CSGO, maybe you can choose like a standardized weapon. So if you're trying to use an assault rifle, you can only use like a G36, or maybe like a G36 available, or there's like an M4 available, or basically a list of standardized weapons that you can use. Same thing goes with some machine guns, grenades, knives, pistols, right? Machine guns, shotguns. There should be a standardized weapons system, so that everyone is using the same type of weapon. And the same thing goes with your uniform, right? There should not be a case where one player who's basically carrying the team is carrying because he or she's too fast, because they're using some type of character, right? Like a character buy, or basically like a specialist, or they're not using, or the enemy team's all wearing vests and they're too slow, and they're basically getting taken out quickly. So there should be like no NX system where some people are using NX weapon, NX gear, and others aren't. Everyone should be on the same playing field, using the same weapons, and basically it's all based on skill. And the other thing that's pretty much aggravating right now, especially if you play ranked, is the fact that there's no damn crosshairs. Where's my crosshair in this like scene right now? It's not there because it's missing. And you'll see like throughout majority of this game, my crosshair is missing. And CSGO has not, not CSGO, Combat Arms and Nexon has not addressed this. It's been like 3 days. They have not addressed this big issue where there's no damn crosshairs. This is basically outrageous, but there are certain things that Nexon and Combat Arms can do, right? They need to fix this glitch with the no crosshairs. They need to fix the ranking system. And they need to fix matchmaking. They need to implement like a specialized, basically like a standard weapon system. I think that Combat Arms Reloaded can be a very good game if Nexon puts in the work to fix these issues. Nexon really just needs to like level the playing field for all the players, and should be based on skill. I really want to see Combat Arms become basically a competitive game where people can also play casually. For those players that love Combat Arms, like me, I've been since 2008 here in Combat Arms, they should be able to play successfully and really without any unsatisfied playing field. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and see you guys next time.